Alright, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, before we begin, we'd like to give all praise, all glory, all honor unto Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Racha Kwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of greatness, soon surely do you well. As always, we say Shalom to the elect.
Shalom to the elect.
A couple of your brothers here from the Heroes of Yahushai camp, I'm the brother
Maya Shala.
and I'm brother Isaiah. We are coming back to you with another video. Lord, will it be edifying to the elect? Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Can we wanted to get into here is the third part of volume of the book Tobit using the law is canon. Right? Now we have many methods and ways you could go into the Apocrypha or go into books in the Bible and determine whether or not it is divinely inspired. Which we know the book of Tobit to be divinely inspired, but still this is the method in which we're using to prove. Now we could have used historical accounts, right? Because the book of Tobit is set within secular history, or the events of the book of Tobit can be found within secular history, right? Then you have prophecy, right? There was a historical prophecy at the time, and then prophecies written towards the end of the book of Tobit which yet to be fulfilled, which we know via the fact that it has prophecies within it. It can only be divinely inspired, as we did a video recently in determining how the Lord, or how the word of the Lord, which contains prophecies, passed down. It's passed down from Yahweh to his son Yahushai to the angels and then through his men. Right? So if you have prophecies written within your book, right, it could only come from Yahweh, therefore it's divinely inspired. Therefore what? It's his word. But, or rather, the way in which we demented break this down now is using the 5 books of Moses, which we highlighted a law in Numbers, the 27th chapter, which played out in the Old Testament, it played out in the New Testament, and it played out in the book of Tobit. Which, if you want to make the book or demonize the book, or say that the book is not canon, or it's not according to the word of the Lord, or it's not divinely inspired, why use the law? Right?
Yeah, if like again, is it Second Peter, First Peter 1:19? Holy men spoke as they were moved by the Rakakadash. Right. All scripture is given by inspiration of power. 2 Timothy chapter 3. Right. So understanding this is not just some man just pick this book up and do we want with it.
If that is 7:25 to 27. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll back up what you're saying.
Yeah, if that is to be the case, the Most High allowed it. Right, again, we understand everything we was given was sufficient and what we needed for our salvation. I have no doubt the book of Enoch, Joshua, Jubilees, and any other books. If you any read the book of I believe it's Kings, make mention of that Solomon wrote many books, many proverbs. So we don't have all those books here today. I have no doubt that the book of Enoch, Joshua, Jubilees is an actual book that existed in the Bible, even though Enoch was a prophet. Jude chapter 1, right? It make mention of the book of Jubilees. I believe you read in the last video.
I believe it have mentioned the book of Joshua. Let me confirm
it's the book of Joshua, not Jubilees. Joshua.
Let me confirm Jubilees.
I know Jubilees is a high holy day. It's G-U-B-I-L-E-E. And I don't know if Jubilees had a book, but I know Joshua had a book. We read it in the last video.
Doesn't seem to have a book. Right?
Doesn't seem to have a book. But we have no doubt that these books existed, right? But were they tainted? Yes, they were. And did the Most High allow it to happen? Yes, he did. Right? Obviously, we know nothing going on in the earth without the Most High allowing it to happen. Example. Why was it that if they tainted some books, why didn't they just taint all? Because then we would have been fucked, right? Scriptures make mention of these things were written aforetime, were written for our learning, that we through hope or through faith, I believe was the word, may have comfort, right? So We understand the necessity of these things being written again, cause these things to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. So understanding that, the Most High could have allowed all the books to be tainted, he could have allowed none of the books to be tainted. But whatever was tainted and taken out was not necessary. However, the Apocrypha is absolutely necessary, that you understand that that book needs to be read. Right? You cannot have the complete understanding of the Bible and omit the 14 books in the Apocrypha. Right? Understanding that, we now want to get into this here, using the law to prove that the book of Tobit belongs not only in the Apocrypha, but by extension belongs in the Bible.
Which
Right?
we're gonna just highlight the law because we went into it in the first part. There's the third installment currently. Right. So we're just gonna highlight the law, which is in Numbers 27 from 1 to 11, and Numbers the 36th chapter.
Right, the entirety of the 36th chapter. Yes.
Right, and so let's read Numbers 27, and this is verse 1, but the footnote for verse 1. Right? It says, the daughters. Alright, let's just read verse 1 and then get to this footnote, and then we get into the video. Right?
Numbers 27 1.
Then came the daughters of Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, of the families of Manasseh, the son of Joseph. And these are the names of his daughters: Mala, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. The daughters, in the orders for the division of the land just given, no provision had been made for females, meaning land and inheritances were passed down through the seed line, through men. In case of failure of male issue, the 5 daughters of Zelophehad therefore considered themselves as destitute, meaning their father didn't have any male children, right? And they know they couldn't keep land for themselves, right? Having neither father nor brother and being themselves entirely overlooked. And they agreed to refer the case to Moses and the rulers, whether it were not equitable that they should inherit their father's portion. This led to the enactment of an additional law to the Civil Code of Israel, which satisfactorily ascertained and amply secured right of succession in cases of inheritance. This law, which is as reasonable as it is just, stands thus. So this is the brief synopsis of it, so we don't have to read the 13 verses, right? It says, on the demise of the father, the estate descended to the son. So that's the original estate of the law, right? If there be no son, the daughters succeed. If there be no daughter, the brothers of the deceased inherit. So father, or let me use brothers within scripture to make it easier: Peter and Andrew. Right? Peter has no son, right? No descendant from him who is his son, right? And he has no daughters as well. All his things, all his inheritances, all of his rights, his land, all of that passes to who? Andrew. If there be no brethren,
and that is once Peter has died,
right?
And having made no children.
If there be no brethren, so Peter didn't have any brothers, or paternal uncles, right? So he didn't have any uncles, meaning brothers of his father. The estate goes to the granduncles or the brothers of his father, right? So the granduncles would be who? His grandfather's brothers, right? If there be no granduncles, then the nearest of kin succeeds the inheritance. So there must be a man within it. Right. Beyond this 5th degree, the law does not extend, because there must always have been some among the Israelites who could be called who? Kinsmen.
Right, which we just read the synopsis of the kinsmen redeemer law. And just to make a point, if there be no son, the daughters succeed, and they succeed in the sense that eventually, when they would marry husbands inside their own clan, inside their own family, right, related to the man who passed, their father, then what happens? The sons that they would make, Salakia, would then be the ones who have the right to inherit wherever it is the father couldn't.
Seems
Lost through his death, right?
similar to the law
So it's
of
like
the
the Salakia, not to cut you off. It's like the raise up seed unto the father. Like how scriptures make mention of raise up seed unto your brother. It's like the raise seed. There's like a raise seed unto the father.
exactly what I was gonna say concerning the law of the kinsman redeemer.
Right.
So it's a similar law here, right? So with this being established, we then wanted to go to instances because we say in order to prove the book of Tobit canon, we're gonna prove that instances or this law was being enacted in the Old Testament, right? It was then enacted in the New Testament and then enacted in the Apocrypha in the book of Tobit. So this backs Tobit, right? Because why would you write a story so similar to that which took place in the Old Testament and the New Testament when it could have made up and you have proven to made up bullshit? Proof of that the book of Jubilees, the book of Joshua, the book of Enoch.
Yeah, the book of Enoch, I've just heard of it, or what I have about Shemesha, you never put no spirit on me to go into that book. That book is failure from what I've heard. Nephilim and giants and all kind of madness.
So you all have proven the ability to go into the book and do utter nonsense. Book of Tobit doesn't seem to be utter nonsense.
Exactly.
Right? So let's get this here. Joshua 17 from 1, which this was a fulfillment of the promise made within the law and the law being enacted and actually playing out in Joshua the 17th chapter. Right? It says there was also a lot for the tribe of Manasseh, for he was the firstborn of Joseph. To wit, from Machir, the firstborn of Manasseh, the father of Gilead, because he was a man of war. Therefore he had Gilead and Bashan. Right? There was also a lot for the rest of the children of Manasseh by their families, for the children of Abiezer, for the children of Helek, and for the children of Azriel, for the children of Shechem, and for the children of Hefer, and for the children of Shemida. These were the male children of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, by their families.
Each man being a head of his own clan.
Right. But Zelophehad, the son of Hefer, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, had no sons but daughters. And these are the names of his daughters, which they reference here back to Numbers 26, 33, Numbers 27, and Numbers 36, the accounts, right? And these are the names of his daughters, Malha, or Mala, and Noah, Hogla, Milcah, and Tirzah. And they came before Eliezer, so they went before Moses and the elders of Israel aforetime, and now after the conquest of the land they come before Eliezer, who is the priest now, and Joshua. And before Joshua the son of Nun, and before the princes, saying, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai commanded Moses to give us an inheritance amongst our brethren. Right? Therefore, according to the commandment of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, he gave them an inheritance among the brethren of their fathers. So he gave them an inheritance, but how would they attain this inheritance and continue on this inheritance? Marriage. Numbers 36 proves that. I'm going to go back to Numbers 36 to back this up. Right? They should give it here. Right? They didn't give it. And right? Just go to Numbers. This is a fulfillment. Joshua 17 from 1 to 4 was a fulfillment of what was spoken of in Numbers 27 and Numbers 36. Numbers 36 from
wait say so like everybody wouldn't marry whomever is deemed right.
Looking out for it.
I believe it's 11.
Right. Numbers 36 and verse 11. It says, from Mala, Tirzah, Hogla, and Milcah, and Noah, the daughters of Zelophehad, were married unto their father's brother's sons, so their cousins. And they were married into the families of the sons of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, and their inheritance remained in the tribe of the family of their father. That is the only way it was possible. That is the important. And they had to do what they had to marry amongst their kinsmen. How we know?
Go up to verse, I think it's verse 5. Look at it.
Well, we could read this, but I want to read this. I want to read the point. Right. Verse 3, Numbers 36 and 3. And if they be married to any of the sons of the other tribes of the children of Israel, then shall their inheritance be taken from the inheritance of our fathers, and shall be put to the inheritance of the tribe whereunto they are received. So shall it be taken from the lot of our inheritance. And when the jubilee of the children of Israel shall be, then shall their inheritance be put unto the inheritance of the tribe whereunto they are received. So shall their inheritance be taken away from the inheritance of the tribe of our fathers. So in order to make sure the inheritance stuck with the people they got it from, right, they had to marry from their same tribe.
Yeah, go ahead.
Point blank period. Right? This is the thing which the Lord Yahweh.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Verse 6, yeah.
This is the thing which the Lord Yahweh Bashan Yahushai doth command concerning the daughters of Zelophehad, saying, let them marry to whom they think best. Only to the family of the tribe of their father shall they marry. So shall not the inheritance of the children of Israel remove from tribe to tribe. For every one of the children of Israel shall keep himself to the inheritance of the tribe of his fathers. Verse 8. Just want to read this note here as well.
Sorry.
That is, he shall not endeavor to obtain any part of the inheritance of another tribe by marrying what? An heiress. They were heiresses because what? They had no male. The father had no male heir, which the only way it could be an heir. Which heir and heiress, masculine and feminine, are the same noun. You understand? The father had no heir, right? Heiress can only come into the picture when the father had no heir, otherwise there's no such thing as an heiress, right?
There would be no need for one because again, the ones who continue in the line is the sons.
Exactly. And every daughter that possessed an inheritance in any tribe of the children of Israel, so the first time it came up was with the tribe of Manasseh, but should this happen otherwise, right?
This situation made it a law and a statute.
As you're going to see in the New Testament, it happened with other tribes. It happened with the tribe of Judah, right? And in the Apocrypha, Tobit, and they were of the tribe of Naphtali, right? Shall be wife unto the and every daughter that possesseth an inheritance in any tribe of the children of Israel shall be wife unto one of the family of the tribe of her father.
And again, unto one of the family, of course, with that which is lawful, right?
That the children of Israel may enjoy every man the inheritance of his fathers, right? So now, let's go to another.
In fact, verse 9, just to close.
Verse 9. Neither shall the inheritance be moved from one tribe to another tribe, but every one of the tribes of the children of Israel shall keep himself
to his own inheritance. Can't take a man's shit that you will point at this law.
Cannot take anything that belongs unto anyone else. Right? So, with that being stated,
we've seen this law play out in another place in the Bible.
Yes, it has. In the book of Ruth, right? And you could get the law in the Kingsman Redeemer, Deuteronomy 25 from 5 to 7.
You're the law first.
Yeah, the law first.
Yeah, the book of
which this law which was used to do the same thing in the book of Ruth. Right?
There's the book of Numbers, chapter 25. I'm reading from verse 5. Yes, the heading here. Duty of a husband's brother.
Right, as we just said, we just read in Numbers, the 27 chapter. If the Lord didn't fall to his son, it will go to who? His brother. We just get that quickly to confirm, to refresh the people's memory.
If there be no sons or daughters succeed, if there be no daughter, the brother of the deceased
inherit. And how would he inherit? You're going to read how he would inherit here. Deuteronomy 25, verse 5. Go ahead.
Duty of a husband's brother. If brethren dwell together, and one of them die, and have no child.
Where should this take place?
Genesis 38, Judah, Onan, and is it two fathers, right? Sheila, but then the next two.
And then who would descend from Judah and Tamar would be Pharez and Sarah.
Pharez and Sarah, right?
But remember who did it take place with?
Sheila, and Onan.
Right, right,
It's three men, by the way.
right,
Right, the
right.
three sons of Judah. Duty of a husband's brother. If brethren dwell together, and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her, and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of an husband's brother unto her. And this is the spirit. I literally looked this law up. So like, yeah.
So like what I was saying.
Right, I literally, this is the spirit. I remember looking this law up. It would have been when, right? Could I be so either sometime earlier, but like earlier this weekend possible, right? It is Monday, Sunday. It would have been sometime last week, Wednesday, Thursday, somewhere around there. And I asked the question to chat. Hey, as it pertains to the law of the kinsman redeemer, um, I know the first seed that the kinsman would have raised up unto the woman would have been, the heir to his brother's inheritance, right? So the brother get to keep his shit within the clan, the person he that pass it to anyway, which is the next descendant, the son. Right, so the first son this man then makes with this child, with this woman, sorry, Salakia, with this woman, sorry, he then that then is like it's like a brother auntie, sorry, it's like a son auntie brother then, right? What happens then after, right? Could they have made any other children after? And he said, and the law said yes. Sorry, not the law, the chat said yes, right? So
Yeah,
any
that
children
becomes
then,
his wife now.
that becomes his wife now. Just so that the thing would
But
say
the
unto her and
importance,
take her to him to wife. Was the reason this marriage happened in the first was what? Was to keep your brother name alive.
so
Right.
that seed, the first birth into the earth, is actually the one who redeems your brother's line, and you could continue your line with her after. Right?
Yeah, you had to think how some other sort of happen too. So like some other sort of happen on the fly being applied, and in the sense to say this the kinsman redeemer, the brother who playing kinsman redeemer might have never had no intention of getting a wife in the first place anyway, right? But what as a result of this, then he would have had to been forced to, as we would have seen, or not forced, but
Not
he would have
forced,
had to
as a
take
good-
up the mantle, because as you go into the book of Ruth, you're gonna see a lot of men would have refused the offer.
for various reasons as well,
Yeah,
and
right.
logical reasons as well. Right? So right.
We see it play off with Judah. Son, it was Onan. One of them died, and the next one, when he went on to brother wife, he was continuously spilling his seed and not breed any brother wife. Why? Because he did not want to raise up seed unto the brother and bring the brother back into the earth.
He said that as well.
Or bring an heir to the brother back into the earth.
To the earth.
Yes, to the earth.
He said,
Firstborn and
just
Judah's
how we
firstborn
get,
was wicked.
just to get the point.
Yeah, right there. Verse 8.
No, I mean this one.
Verse 9, yeah?
Yeah, and Onan knew that the seed should not be his.
Which is all of this is proof that even before the law was instituted or established amongst the nation of Israel, they still knew the laws, right? It just wasn't for statute yet. It wasn't set in stone as yet, right? And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. Why? Because it's a seed unto his brother. And it came to pass when he went in unto his brother's wife that he spilt it on the ground, lest he should give seed unto his brother. And the thing which he did displeased Yahweh. So he displeased Yahweh, wherefore he slew him also. So the Most High killed him, because what he would not raise and bring the name of his brother back into the earth.
Take a ride, verse 6.
Right, verse 6. Going on to take her to him to wife and perform the duty of her. Right, verse 6. And it shall be that the firstborn which she bare shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead. And I remember I made the point earlier that it would have been the first son, but it didn't even bound to be the first son, because if it was a daughter, she could have just married somebody in the clan and continue. Yeah, Salakia, I made a mistake there, because I just made mention of it. If it had been a daughter, then it would have been okay, because then they'd have just do it as hogla and milk, and no, I just did. But I know the case, because when you go into the child here, right, it says son, grandson, child member, or born in the Hebrew. So it's the firstborn son that is made of the union. Yeah, it's that's what they're looking for, none of daughters. Right, go ahead. And it shall be that the firstborn which she bare shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, that his name be not put out of Israel. And if the man like not to take his brother's wife, then let his brother's wife go up to the gate unto the elders and say, my husband's brother refuseth to raise up unto his brother a name in Israel. He will not perform the duty of my husband's brother. Then the elders of his city shall call him and speak unto him. And if he stand to it and say, I like not to take her, then shall his brother's wife come up unto him in the presence of the elders, and loose his shoe from off his foot, and spit in his face, and shall answer and say, so shall it be done unto that man that will not build up his brother's house. And his name shall be called in Israel the house of him that hath his shoe loosed.
Can. So you see, law is enacted here. Look at how convoluted this law is. How much layers perplex this law is, and how much layers it have to it.
Which perplex, yeah, but we know it's still simpler, right? Scriptures make mention of the simplicity in Mashiach. It's still simple in its application, but it's multifaceted. Right?
So, after seeing that, how could they go through he don't have the ability to go into that law and understand it, you know?
No, they
Much
don't.
if they, because how we know the person who write that in Tobit would have had to have understood it, because it was written at T according to the law. He don't know have the ability to go into the law and write that down to a T much and then make up a whole story with that involved. Because that was like a subplot to the whole overarching story, you know?
of Tobit, because we know ultimately, yet are some heathens who well versed in the law and understand it, because heathens were taught the law as well. Ishmael was taught the law by Abraham, because he would have been in Abraham's house. Esau was taught the law by Isaac, right? Because he would have been in Isaac's house. So by and large, the heathens don't understand the law, but the fact that they're able to go into these things, that are read these stories and still be able to write it out, and we still would have these scriptures today, shows that they have somewhat of our understanding. We'll see it. The apostles just bring out let's go to the chat and see, let me see what the scholars had to say. And you'll see a lot of the times that it has some things with the scholars know. Like the prophecies, Daniel 2, they'll tell you what Daniel 2 talking about. Daniel 7, they'll tell you what Daniel 7 talking about. And the apostles even make mention that when they go into Revelation 18, they know that America, it's speaking of America. So we're not saying they have no knowledge of the law, but it's far-fetched to believe that they would have tainted the book of Tobit even after applying right, the understanding so perfectly. The book of Tobit is supposed to be in the Bible, and it is canonical. Right?
So now let's head to
the book of Ruth.
The book of Ruth, chapter 3, from verse 12.
Yeah, the book of
which reviews this. And this is another instance throughout the scripture in which the law of the kinsman redeemer, right, or that situation happening in which an heiress would have to raise seed up for the deceased, right? Now in the case of Hogla, Milcah, Noah, etc., they had to raise seed for their father. In this case, right,
Boaz,
he has to raise up seed for can't remember where how far Boaz is from, like if Boaz was a cousin, etc. Because Boaz in this one say, albeit there's a kinsman nearer than I. So I can't tell you how far Boaz is from the deceased.
Yeah, you can look it up. Oh, like click Boaz and see.
Let me see.
Let me see if they tell us. Or you could even click on Eli Malak as well.
Eli Malak.
Or Eli Malak verse 1. No, verse 1 and verse 2 selected.
Just say Naomi's husband, and this going to carry you back to Allah and Malak.
Oh, can. Well, you see Boaz's name and
this one, Malon, son of Eli Malak by Naomi and first husband of Ruth. Right. No, sorry. Eli Malak was Naomi's husband.
Right.
It's Malon and Kylan.
Right.
Right. So which one? An Ephraimite, son of Eli Malak by Naomi, and the deceased husband of Ruth, or maybe deceased husband of Orpha. So they're not highlighting who exactly
is what.
Yeah. So I'm going to go into Boaz's name and see Boaz. They'll tell you how far Boaz is from the
chapter 2 verse 3.
The
right.
Kingsman, right? So they don't tell if his cousin, but
Yeah, how far
yeah,
they
how
was
far?
related, how close they was. Yeah.
Nah. All right. So let's just go with what we have.
But there's something that highlighted the fact that they say he was not the nearest Kingsman is proof that they literally know about this law.
Yeah.
Right, they understood this. Right, so they know the book of Ruth, chapter 3, and even verse
From 12.
12. And now
Verse this one thing I wanted to see from in the research for the video, I went into the what is called
prologue.
this? The prologue. I think I found something interesting. Just one moment. Right. From 12.
Right, verse 12. And now it is true that I am thy near kinsman. Howbeit there is
It's
a
how? Alright, go ahead.
That verse 12. And now it is true that I am thy near kinsman, howbeit there is a kinsman nearer than I. Tarry this night, and it shall be in the morning that if he will perform unto thee the part of a kinsman, well, let him do the kinsman part. But if he will not,
Meaning raise up seed. So your lot and possession and inheritance
will stay with your
stay
family.
with your family. Go ahead.
Right? Let him do the kinsman
But that
part.
would pass to this lineage here. Chapter 4. And from Boaz to Obed to Jesse to David.
Can.
Go ahead.
Right? So looking at the heights, the Boaz, Obed, just right, a kinsman redeemer law and the application of it literally is part of the reason why David was even alive. A character as important and as biblically magnified as David, right? Verse 13, tarry this night, and it shall be in the morning, if he will perform unto thee the part of a kinsman, well, let him do the kinsman part. But if he will not do the part of a kinsman to thee, then will I do the part of a kinsman to thee, as Yahweh liveth, lie down until the morning.
Alright.
Right?
So now we move in now to chapter 4. And chapter 4 was a fulfillment of this.
Right?
Go ahead.
From verse 1, right?
Yeah.
Redeeming the inheritance he had in our years.
See? Redeeming the inheritance. So whether I do it via the kings when redeem my law, or it's the same thing in Numbers the 27 chapter. You redeeming the inheritance unto the deceased lineage. Right, which I say, brother, it depends, because Boaz, you say it could be a nearest kinsman. It have to have a kinsman, as when we read in Numbers 27, the footnote.
Yeah, it never went so fast to not having a kinsman. It must have somebody.
It must have someone. And that proves that the nation of Israel will never be done away with. But that's a different thing for a different time.
Yeah.
Right? The law of the kinsman redeemer proves that the nation of Israel will never be done away with.
Can.
Never ever.
Right. Redeeming the inheritance. Then went Boaz up to the gate, and sat him down there, and behold, the kinsman of whom Boaz spake came by, unto whom he said, Ho, such a one.
I'd get it in a different, I remember working here. I'd get it in a different translation.
Right.
Because he gonna explain why he didn't fulfill it and Boaz did.
Can. Good news.
I'm gonna try the AMP.
Oh, you have an app with it? I didn't know.
Yeah, this. And in this, I have many different Bibles.
Can.
So I can go here, the GNT, and then I can go from GNT to the BSB, GNV, the revised version with the Apocrypha.
Amplified.
Yeah. I'll use this for the GNT because he's gonna explain something very important here.
Right. Right, and then.
Ouch, yeah. AMP says, go ahead.
Right. So the heading here, redeeming the inheritance. Right. Then went Boaz up to the gate, and sat him down there. And behold, the kinsman of whom Boaz spake came by. Do you remember we just made reference, verse 9, I believe it was. It's a kinsman near than I.
Yeah, verse 12.
Verse 12. So like
3 and 12. Go ahead.
Right. Unto whom he said, Ho, such an one. Turn aside, sit down here. And he turned aside and sat down. And he took 10 men of the elders of the city, and said, Sit ye down here. And they sat down. And he said unto the kinsman, Naomi, that is come again out of the country of Moab, sell it a parcel of land which was our brother Eli Malak's. And I thought to advertise thee, saying, buy it before the inhabitants and before the elders of my people. If thou wilt redeem it, redeem it. But if thou wilt not redeem it, then tell me that I may know, for there is none to redeem it beside thee, and I am after thee. And he said, I will redeem it. Then said Boaz, what day thou buyest the field of the hand of Naomi, thou must buy it also of Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of the dead, to raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
And the kinsman said, I cannot redeem it for myself.
You see?
Right?
This part here. We're trying to read down to verse. Yeah. When I read down to verse 9, right? When you go up at 9. Verse 6 says highlight why he didn't do it. Right? And I'm going to read it in a different transition when they're done, of course, to show you why he didn't do it.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, I remember.
Redeem thou. Redeem, yeah.
And the kinsman said, I cannot redeem it for myself, lest I mar mine own inheritance. Redeem thou my right to thyself, for I cannot redeem this. Now this was the manner in former time in Israel concerning redeeming and concerning changing. For to confirm all things, a man must pluck off his shoe and give it to his neighbor, and this was a testimony in Israel. Therefore the kinsman said unto Boaz, buy it for thee. So he drove off his shoe.
Mm-hmm.
Boaz redeems the land he had in here. And Boaz said unto the elders and unto all the people, ye are witnesses this day that I have bought all that was Elimelech's, and all that was Chilion's and Mahlon's of the hand of Naomi. Moreover, Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon, have I purchased to be my wife, to raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance, that the name of the dead be not cut off from among his brethren, and from the gate of his place ye are witnesses this day.
Right. So now let me read that account in the AMP. Right. It's the book of Ruth, chapter 4, reading verse 1 in the AMP. It says the marriage of Ruth. Right. It says then Boaz went up to the city gate where business and legal matters were settled.
Right, so again, when matters happening before time, bring it before the elders.
Yeah.
Right?
And sat down, and then the close relative, the Redeemer, of whom Boaz spake, came by. He said to him, come over here, friend, and sit down. So he came and sat down. Then Boaz took 10 men from the elders of the city and said, sit down here, and they sat down. And he said to the closest relative, the Redeemer, Naomi, who has returned from the country of Moab, must sell the plot of land which belonged to her brother Elimelech.
Right, because again, females cannot keep the inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot hold the inheritance. It needs to go to a man.
Mm-hmm. It says, so I thought to let you hear of it, saying, buy it in the presence of those sitting here, and before the elders of my people. If you will redeem it, but if not, then tell me, so that I may know, for there is no one besides you to redeem it. I am next of kin after you. And he said, I will redeem it. Then Boaz said, the day that you buy the field from Naomi, you must also acquire Ruth the Moabitess, the widow of the deceased, to restore the name of the deceased to his inheritance. The closest relative Redeemer said, I cannot redeem it for myself, because by marrying a Moabitess or by marrying Ruth, I would jeopardize my own inheritance.
That sounds like.
Yeah.
Right.
Take my right of redemption, purchase yourself, because I cannot redeem it. Meaning what? You see what Lord put here.
Wait till 2023.
Yeah, because what would happen is he already had someone in line to redeem his possession and his lot. Should he make Ruth or take Ruth to wife, he could have jeopardized passing that down to his next in line. He the one who was supposed to inherit his things.
Right,
Exactly. Because there was talk of I won't say a blood feud, but let me say like what happened with Solomon and Absalom. Is Absalom or Abi?
Adonijah, I believe it was.
Adonijah. Let me just confirm.
Damn, Second Samuel last chapter. Nah.
It's First Kings, yeah. Adonijah.
Adonijah, right?
Adonijah. Something could have happened in the situation here with Adonijah and Solomon, where it had a dispute between who would be
Rightful heir.
the rightful heir. Now David, he settled it before he died, but if
Oh,
he should die,
because again, how Solomon, the question of the, I would like to say the legitimacy of Solomon's birth, because again, Solomon legitimately is an Israelite, legitimately is because you're right, Solomon legitimately is legitimately the son of David. But why did David have to make sure and establish who was going to inherit what? Well, one thing I believe, and I would like to believe I'm correct in this, is that Adonijah was born before Solomon.
um, this one.
Right, yes, Adonijah was older than Solomon. Both were sons of King David, but Adonijah was his fourth son, born to Haggith, while Solomon was born much later to Bathsheba. Now, tying it back to his wife, if you understand the story behind who Solomon's mother is, she was originally the wife of Uriah, who David plotted, had him murdered, blah, blah, blah. All of them things, when you're looking at the legitimacy of Solomon making claim to being the king, all of those could have hurt his chances of becoming said king. What I'm trying to say, but look how you born and this, that, the other. So what David make sure and do as a reading here in this first Kings, he settled that before he died. He said, forget all that. Solomon is the man who's supposed to rule. So now, as you saying that he might have had things in line, right? Of things he wanted to, he already had lined up this person that inherit, that person that inherit. Now coming to this woman here that might have present a problem, right? So he's saying, you know what, I can't really deal with that because I have my own business pending here. So
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
right, so what coming together with this woman might jeopardize that, right? So he said, now you know what, you go ahead because as as um as we see here, Boaz made sure to tell the kinsman redeemer that I am next in line. And the reason he's saying that is because he know he ready and willing to do it because he had nothing going on. He don't know descendants, he don't have no wife as far as we know, right? So what? I ready and willing to do it. Right? So go ahead.
You can confirm me.
Yeah, the man answered, in that case I will give up my right to buy the field because it would mean that my own children would not inherit it. You buy it, I would rather not.
Exactly.
Right.
Right. So he know the CD race up, but it wouldn't be his. Same thing with Onan and
Right.
But the difference is he was more righteous than Onan.
Onan intent. He didn't go with the woman to then say, alright, I'm not gonna do it. Because he went and made sure and say, hey, I'm not even going to enter in onto the woman because I know my intention is not to raise up a seed unto this man.
Because of all my personal business and matters.
Right?
So Lord will, this video is edifying and that you all were edified. In closing, that's Sinkal Halalim La Yahweh Basham Yahushai Basham Raka Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of greatness, so we surely do well. As always, we like to say shalom to the elect. There's a couple of brothers here from the heavens. I Yahushai, come the brother
Maya Shara.
and I'm the brother Isaiah saying shalom. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand.